Hi, emotional authority people. Let's get going on this. So we are talking about the emotional authority slash solar plexus authority. So the solar plexus center in human design is where all our emotions are housed. And it's a beautiful thing. So if you have this defined, you have emotional authority, and it takes precedence over anything else that you have defined in your chart. And so the important thing for emotional authorities is to really lean into your emotional wave. You are here to really feel all of the feels and to just deeply experience life and the emotions that are in it. And it's a beautiful thing. Could be exhausting for sure, but beautiful. So the best thing for you is to really lean into it and to understand your specific wave. Everybody has a different one, and it depends on which channel you have connected out of your solar plexus, where whichever one, it all kind of has a different vibe, and then everybody has a different makeup, right? So you might talk to another emotional authority and they'll describe their emotional wave a little differently than you would describe it, and that's totally fine. That's the beautiful thing about life. We're all different. There's no right or wrong. It's just what's correct for you. So once you get to know that wave, then you get to know what the highs feel like and what the lows feel like. This is super important because you don't want to make a decision inside of a high or a low. You want to wait until you're in a calm place and then make the decision from there, because that's how you know if you still really want it or if you are still really angry. You got to wait. The thing I always tell emotional authority people, the reason this is so important is because when you're at your high, like let's say you're hanging out with friends, you're having a ball, and your friend's like, man, this is awesome. I love you. I love this. Let's do this again next weekend. And you're like, yes, I want to do this next weekend. Let's sign me up. And then Friday comes and you're like, sorry, I just don't want to anymore. Sorry. And then you cancel last minute and the people are like, That's why it's important to wait, because it's totally fine that you feel that way. It's kind of hard for the other people. It's kind of hard to make plans, right? And so when you know that that's how you work, that's fine. Then you have that thing in place. Then when your friend is like, let's do this again, you're like, that sounds awesome, but let me get back to you in a couple days. It's as easy as that. You just say, man, let me check my calendar. Give me a couple days. I will get back to you. I promise. I'm not promising anything right now, but I promise that I will get back to you. And then go from there. And then it's beautiful because the more you do that, the more empowered you feel, and it empowers other people. And it's kind of cool, right? Because it's like if you take that time to stand up for yourself and say, I need a couple days to think about this, and then you go and do that, then people are like, oh, you can do that? Like, look at them just standing up for themselves. That's pretty cool. And then it makes them feel good. And you can even do this for like job interviews, right? Say you're at a job interview or you get offered a job and then you're excited. Well, still say, this sounds amazing. Let me have a couple days to talk it over with my family and I'll get back to you. And then you can ride that wave and figure out if it really is energetically correct for you. The same goes for the low though, okay? Because you know you've been at a low and you've been really angry at somebody and you sent that text and you were like, yeah. And then the next day you're like, so I'm not really that angry anymore. My bad. But the damage has been done. So if you are in a low, then you can say, yeah, I'm pretty pissed right now. I feel like we need to talk about this, but I'm going to need a couple days and then I'll get back to you. Okay. And then wait till you're in the calm place and then you can have that conversation. This is so important. So important. And again, I always say a couple days because it depends on you. There genuinely might be a time where it's just like an hour or two. And that's all you need. And sometimes you might need a couple days. This is why it's so important for you to really be intimate with your specific emotional wave. Because then if you're riding a high and your friend's like, this is great, then you check with your wave and you're like, oh no, I'm at the tippy top here, so I should give it a couple days. Or if you get that job, that job offer that you wanted and you're like, well, I'm like 75% up, so yeah, let me give it a little bit of time just to make sure. Or if you're angry and you're like, this is the bottom of my wave and I'm just like, then you're like, yeah, no, I'm not having any conversations right now. And then really get to know that calm, cool place so that you know, okay, I'm good. I'm good to talk now. I'm good to commit now. This is good. So check in with yourself every day. If this resonates with you, you can probably think of times that you're like, oh yeah, that was a high. That's what that feels like. That was a low. That's what that feels like. Here's my calm place. You could probably reference your past and really pick up on it pretty quickly. But it's always good to check in with it anyway. So make sure you are just communicating with yourself, communicating with your body. Really listen to that wave. Love it. Honor it. It's a beautiful thing. You got this.